Have you ever felt overlooked, interrupted, or disrespected by someone who just didn't value your boundaries? It's an experience we all face, and it can leave you frustrated or questioning yourself. But here's the truth. Disrespect from others says more about them than it does about you. What matters is how you respond. In this video, I'll walk you through 8 practical ways to handle people who don't respect you. Inspired by Stoic philosophy, these strategies are rooted in calm, self-control, and maintaining your dignity. You'll learn how to set boundaries with confidence, master emotional detachment, and reclaim your peace. These aren't abstract ideas. They're actionable methods you can start using today. I'll share real-life examples and show you why these approaches work. Whether it's in your personal relationships or professional life, these tools will empower you to protect your self-respect without losing your calm. So, if you're ready to take control and demand the respect you deserve, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started. 1. The power of a neutral statement. Let's start with one of the most effective ways to handle disrespect, using a neutral statement. When someone challenges your boundaries or acts dismissively, the natural response is to either lash out or retreat in silence. But there's a third, more powerful option. Respond calmly with a neutral, factual statement. For instance, imagine someone cutting you off in a meeting, talking over you as if your words don't matter. Instead of snapping back, simply pause, look at them and say, "I'd like to finish what I was saying." It's not confrontational, but it's firm. This kind of statement commands men. Neutral statements disarm disrespectful people. Most individuals who act this way expect emotional reactions. They're looking to provoke you, but when you respond with calm control, you take away their power. It's like a mirror reflecting their behavior at them, forcing them to reconsider. This technique isn't just about stopping the immediate behavior. It's about asserting your self-respect. In Stoic philosophy, one of the most critical lessons is that you can't control how others act, but you can always control your response. A neutral statement is a way of standing your ground without losing your inner peace. Let me share a personal story. During a team discussion, a colleague consistently interrupted me, acting as if their input was more important. I could feel the irritation bubbling up, but instead of snapping, I took a deep breath and said, "I'd like to finish my point before we move on." The room went quiet. My colleague nodded and backed down, and I was able to complete my thoughts. What I noticed afterward was even more important. They treated me with more respect in future conversations. It wasn't about dominating the interaction. It was about showing that I respected myself enough to speak calmly and assertively. To apply this in your life, start by pausing before you speak. When someone disrespects you, take a moment to collect your thoughts. Reacting impulsively often leads to regret. Next, choose your words wisely. Keep your statement short and factual. Avoid sarcasm or emotional overtones which can escalate the situation. Finally, deliver your words with confidence. Your tone matters as much as your words. Speak clearly, maintaining eye contact to reinforce your authority. Using neutral statements isn't just about handling one disrespectful person. It's about cultivating emotional detachment and inner strength. You're learning to protect your energy, a core tenet of mindfulness and stoicism. When you practice this consistently, you'll notice a shift, not just in how others treat you, but in how you view yourself. You'll feel more grounded, less reactive, and more in control of your life. So the next time someone crosses the line, pause, breathe, and respond with calm clarity. It's a small action, but one with a profound impact. 2. Redirect the conversation. Sometimes the most powerful way to handle disrespect isn't to confront it directly, but to take control by redirecting the conversation. Disrespectful people often thrive on conflict. They want to draw you into their negativity or provoke an emotional response. Instead of engaging on their terms, you can subtly steer the interaction onto neutral or constructive ground. This approach doesn't just diffuse the tension, it also reinforces your ability to stay calm and in control. Imagine someone making a snide comment during a discussion, perhaps about your work or decisions. Instead of reacting defensively, say something like, "That's an interesting perspective. What's your take on this other point?" By asking a question or shifting the subject, you deprive them of the attention they seek and establish yourself as someone who isn't easily rattled. Why does this work so effectively? Redirecting the conversation achieves two things. First, it denies them the emotional reaction they're fishing for. Second, it subtly repositions you as the one guiding the interaction. This balance of calm detachment and quiet authority is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. As the Stoics teach, true strength lies in choosing how to respond, not being at the mercy of others' actions. Let me share a personal example. During a group project, a teammate would frequently interject with sarcastic remarks about my contributions. At first, I felt tempted to argue back or justify myself, but then I decided to try a different approach. The next time they commented, I smiled slightly and said, "I hear you. So what's your suggestion for improving this part?" The shift was immediate. They paused, stumbled for a response, and eventually redirected their energy toward constructive input. The dynamic of the group changed from that point forward. To apply this in your own life, start by recognizing that disrespectful comments often mask insecurity or a desire for control. When you choose to redirect instead of react, you're refusing to feed into their negativity. Here's how you can do it effectively. First, stay calm and collected. Take a moment to breathe before responding. Staying composed is key to maintaining control. Then, choose neutral questions or statements to redirect the conversation. Use phrases like, "That's an interesting point, but let's focus on this," or, "I appreciate your input. Let's consider this angle." Finally, focus on the bigger picture. Shift attention away from the disrespect and on to the purpose of the conversation or the issue at hand. This method is not about avoiding the problem, but about mastering it. By steering the interaction, you maintain your peace, protect your self-respect, and show others that negativity won't derail you. It's a powerful way to rise above the moment while embodying the Stoic ideals of emotional control and inner strength. The next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, pause, redirect, and watch how the tone of the conversation changes. This simple shift can make a profound difference. 3. Reframe the disrespect as their problem. One of the most empowering ways to handle disrespect is to reframe it, not as a reflection of you, but as an issue belonging to the other person. This perspective, rooted in Stoic philosophy, allows you to maintain emotional control and preserve your inner peace. Instead of taking someone's words or actions personally, remind yourself, their behavior says more about them than it does about me. Disrespectful behavior often stems from insecurity, frustration, or a need for control. When someone lashes out, it's usually not about you, it's about their internal struggles. By understanding this, you can detach emotionally and avoid being drawn into their negativity. This reframing isn't about excusing bad behavior, but about recognizing its true source and choosing not to let it affect your sense of self-worth. Let me share a personal experience. In my early career, I had a manager who frequently dismissed my ideas in meetings. At first, I felt humiliated and questioned my competence. But over time, I realized that their behavior had little to do with me and everything to do with their fear of being overshadowed. Once I stopped internalizing their actions, I could focus on presenting my ideas with confidence, regardless of their reaction. This shift not only protected my self-esteem, but also earned me the respect of others in the room who noticed my calm demeanor. To apply this principle in your own life, start by practicing emotional detachment. When someone disrespects you, pause and remind yourself that their behavior reflects their insecurities or frustrations. This simple shift can help you respond with clarity and composure. Next, avoid reacting emotionally. Instead of snapping back or withdrawing, acknowledge their behavior neutrally. You might think to yourself, "This is about them, not me," and choose not to engage with their negativity. By refusing to react, you deprive them of the control they're seeking. Finally, focus on your actions and values. Instead of dwelling on their disrespect, channel your energy into maintaining your dignity and staying true to your goals. Whether it's in your personal relationships or professional life, staying grounded in your sense of worth is key. Reframing disrespect as someone else's problem isn't just a tool for self-protection. It's a pathway to greater emotional resilience. As the Stoics remind us, We cannot control the actions of others, but we can always control how we respond. When you choose not to take their behavior personally, you reclaim your peace and project unshakable confidence. So the next time someone disrespects you, pause, reflect, and reframe. By seeing their actions for what they truly are, you free yourself from their influence and move forward with strength and clarity. This simple shift in mindset can transform how you handle negativity and maintain your self-respect. 4. Set firm boundaries. One of the most effective ways to handle people who don't respect you is to set firm boundaries. Disrespect often persists because people assume they can get away with it. By clearly defining what you will and will not tolerate, you create a line that others are less likely to cross. This is not about being harsh or aggressive. It's about protecting your energy and self-respect, which are central to Stoic philosophy. Think of boundaries as a declaration of your worth. When you set them, you're sending a message. I value myself enough to expect respectful treatment. For example, if someone makes a hurtful joke at your expense, you can calmly say, I don't find that funny. Please don't say that again. It's direct, respectful, and leaves no room for misinterpretation. This kind of clarity not only protects your peace, but also encourages the other person to reflect on their behavior. Boundaries are essential because they teach others how to treat you. People who consistently disrespect others often do so without even realizing it. They've never been challenged or held accountable. By setting a boundary, you're showing them what's acceptable and what isn't. This not only safeguards your inner peace, but also creates an opportunity for them to change their approach. Let me share a personal experience. I once had a close friend who often made sarcastic remarks about my career choices. At first, I brushed it off, thinking, that's just their sense of humor. But over time, those comments started to chip away at my confidence. One day, after yet another comment, I decided it was time to speak up. I said, I know you mean well, but your comments about my career come across as dismissive. I'd appreciate it if we could keep those jokes out of our conversations. They were taken aback at first, but after a moment, they apologized. From that day on, the dynamic between us shifted. They treated me with more respect, and I felt more confident in my decisions. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature. Start by being clear and specific. State your boundary directly and respectfully, avoiding vague or indirect language. For example, say, I need us to keep our conversations professional, rather than hinting or hoping they'll take the hint. Once you've set your boundary, stick to it. If someone crosses the line again, remind them calmly. Consistency is key. Finally, accept that some people might react poorly to your boundaries. That's a reflection of their discomfort, not a reason for you to back down. Setting boundaries isn't just about controlling others' behavior. It's about prioritizing your own well-being. It's a reminder that your peace matters more than anyone else's approval. When you enforce your boundaries, you're teaching others to respect you, and reminding yourself that your self-respect comes first. So the next time someone crosses the line, take a deep breath and set your boundary with confidence. You'll find that those who value you will respect your limits, while those who don't will naturally drift away. This simple yet powerful step will help you reclaim your self-respect and maintain your inner peace. 5. Embrace silence as a shield. Sometimes the most powerful response to disrespect is no response at all. Silence, when used intentionally, can act as a shield that protects your energy while sending a strong message. Disrespectful people often thrive on attention. They want a reaction, whether it's anger, frustration, or even an explanation. By denying them that satisfaction, you take away their power and maintain your inner peace. Silence is far from passive. It's an active choice to disengage from negativity and stay focused on what truly matters. Imagine this: someone mocks your decisions in a group setting. Instead of snapping back or justifying yourself, you simply pause, maintain steady eye contact, and let their words linger in the air. The discomfort of the silence forces them to reflect on their behavior. Without saying a word, you've made it clear, I'm not playing your game. This approach is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that while we can't control others' actions, we can always control how we respond. By choosing silence, you reclaim your emotional balance and demonstrate true strength. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let me share a personal story. Early in my career, I had a colleague who loved making passive-aggressive comments during meetings. Initially, I felt the urge to confront them or defend myself. But one day, I tried something different. When they made another sarcastic remark, I calmly looked at them, stayed silent, and let the room fill with tension. They grew visibly uncomfortable, mumbled something, and moved on. Over time, they stopped targeting me because they realized they couldn't provoke a reaction. Using silence effectively requires practice and intentionality. Here's how you can do it. First, pause before reacting. When someone disrespects you, resist the immediate urge to respond. Take a deep breath and center yourself. Second, hold a steady gaze if appropriate. Calm eye contact shows that you're neither intimidated nor interested in escalating the situation. Finally, let the silence speak for itself. The discomfort it creates shifts the focus back onto them, forcing them to reconsider their actions. Silence isn't about avoiding conflict, it's about mastering it. By embracing silence, you prioritize your self-respect and protect your energy. You send a powerful message that negativity has no place in your life. This simple yet profound strategy not only strengthens your emotional resilience, but also shows others that you value your peace above all else. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't rush to respond. Instead, pause, let the silence settle, and watch how the dynamic shifts in your favor. It's a small action with the potential for profound results, empowering you to maintain control and protect your dignity. 6. Stop explaining yourself. One of the most liberating lessons in life is this: you don't owe anyone an explanation for your choices. When people question your decisions, it often stems from their discomfort or need to assert control. Explaining yourself repeatedly not only drains your energy but also gives others power over your sense of self-worth. In Stoic philosophy, self-respect comes from within, not from the approval of others. Think about the times when someone questioned your decisions. Why you chose a particular career path, why you didn't attend an event, or why you set a certain boundary. You might have felt compelled to justify yourself, hoping they would understand or agree. But here's the truth. People who respect you don't need explanations, and those who don't respect you won't accept them anyway. Imagine this scenario. A colleague questions why you turned down an extra project. Instead of defending your choice or listing reasons, simply say, "It didn't align with my priorities." No further details, no justification. This response is confident, clear, and puts the conversation to rest. When you stop explaining yourself, you take back control of your narrative. It shows that you're confident in your decisions and don't seek external validation. This shift in mindset protects your inner peace and reinforces your sense of self-worth. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Live according to your values and let your actions speak for themselves. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I decided to leave a stable job to pursue a more meaningful but less conventional career. The moment I announced my decision, I was bombarded with questions. Why would you leave something so secure? What's your backup plan? Initially, I tried to explain, talking about my passion, my goals, and my strategy. But no matter how thorough I was, the questions kept coming, leaving me feeling drained. Eventually, I shifted my approach. When someone asked, "Why are you doing this?" I simply replied, "Because it feels right for me." That short, honest answer ended the conversation, and I felt empowered by not needing anyone's approval. To apply this in your life, start small. When someone questions your choices, respond with confidence, "Because it works for me." Avoid over-explaining or defending yourself. If they push for more details, smile and change the subject. This not only preserves your energy, but also sets a boundary that your life isn't up for debate. By refusing to explain yourself unnecessarily, you send a powerful message. I trust my decisions, and I value my peace. This mindset aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control, your actions and your perspective. Let go of the need to justify, and watch how your confidence grows. The next time someone challenges your choices, Pause. Take a deep breath and say only what's necessary. Let your calm, concise response speak for itself. You'll feel lighter, more self-assured, and deeply aligned with your true values. Hold your head high. Confidence is a silent weapon, and one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to handle disrespect is to hold your head high. Disrespectful people often seek to diminish your self-worth, but when you carry yourself with poise and self-assurance, you send a clear message. I respect myself, and I demand the same from others. Your posture, your presence, and the way you carry yourself can say more than words ever could. When someone disrespects you, it's natural to feel the urge to shrink or avoid further conflict. But Stoic philosophy teaches us to stand firm in our dignity, regardless of external circumstances. Holding your head high is a physical expression of inner strength. It communicates that their negativity doesn't define you. This isn't about arrogance. It's about owning your self-worth. Let me give you an example. I once attended a gathering where an acquaintance consistently made belittling remarks about my career choices. Their words stung, but instead of reacting emotionally, I adjusted my posture, made deliberate eye contact, and responded calmly and briefly when spoken to. I kept my head high, literally and figuratively. Over time, they stopped making those comments because my confidence disrupted the power dynamic they were trying to create. Why does this work so effectively? People who thrive on disrespect often expect their words to have a visible impact. When you hold your head high, it confuses them. They realize their attempts to belittle you have no effect, which weakens their position. Confidence is like a force field. It reflects their negativity onto them without you having to lift a finger. To apply this principle, start by focusing on your physical posture. Stand tall, keep your shoulders back, and maintain steady eye contact when interacting with someone who disrespects you. This simple shift in body language not only changes how others perceive you, but also reinforces your sense of strength. When you carry yourself with dignity, it becomes harder for others to treat you with anything less. Next, pair your confident posture with calm, composed speech. Speak clearly and avoid raising your voice or appearing flustered. This combination of self-assured body language and controlled communication demonstrates that you're in charge of your emotions, a key tenet of Stoicism. Finally, remind yourself that respect starts from within. You don't need anyone's approval to validate your worth. When you hold your head high, you're telling yourself and the world that you are enough, no matter what others say or do. 8. Don't engage in their drama. Disrespectful people often thrive on drama. They bait you with sharp words or provocative behavior, hoping to pull you into their chaos. One of the most powerful ways to handle this is by refusing to engage. When you remain calm and detached, you strip them of the control they crave while protecting your peace. Stoic philosophy reminds us that we can't control what others do, but we can control our responses. And sometimes, the best response is no response. Think about it. Every argument needs two participants. When you choose not to react emotionally, you starve their need for conflict. For example, if someone makes a sarcastic comment about your choices, resist the urge to defend yourself. Instead, respond neutrally with something like, "I see your point," or simply nod and move on. Their attempt to provoke you will fall flat, leaving them with no fuel for their drama. Let me share a personal story. I once worked with a colleague who loved making passive-aggressive remarks during team meetings. They'd make cutting comments disguised as humor, clearly trying to get a rise out of me. At first, I felt compelled to argue back, but I quickly realized it only escalated the tension. So, I tried a different approach. The next time they made a snide remark, I smiled slightly, nodded, and shifted the conversation back to the task at hand. The result? They grew visibly uncomfortable and eventually stopped targeting me altogether. By staying calm and refusing to engage, I took away their power. Why does this method work? Disrespectful people thrive on reactions. They want you to lose your temper, defend yourself, or fight back because it validates their behavior. When you refuse to engage, it creates an emotional void. They're left grappling with their negativity. This silence doesn't mean you're weak. It means you value your inner peace more than their drama. To apply this in your own life, start by mastering the pause. When someone disrespects you, take a deep breath before responding. This short moment allows you to regain control of your emotions. Next, use neutral phrases like, "I hear you," or "That's interesting," to acknowledge their words without feeding into the conflict. Finally, redirect the conversation to something constructive or simply excuse yourself from the situation. Remember, refusing to engage isn't about avoiding problems, it's about rising above them. You're choosing to focus on what you can control: your reaction, your energy, and your peace. This practice aligns perfectly with the Stoic ideal of emotional detachment, teaching you to remain grounded in the face of negativity. So the next time someone tries to drag you into their drama, pause, breathe, and choose calm over chaos. You'll walk away with your dignity intact and your inner peace unshaken. Respect starts with how you value yourself. The 8 strategies we've explored today, rooted in Stoic philosophy, are about reclaiming your power, setting boundaries, and protecting your inner peace. Whether it's using silence, holding your head high, or refusing to engage in negativity, each method reminds you that your self-respect doesn't depend on anyone else. Life will always bring challenges and difficult people, but your response defines the outcome. By staying grounded, calm, and focused on your values, you show the world and yourself that you are unshakable. The true strength lies in knowing your worth and refusing to let disrespect disturb your balance. If you found these lessons valuable, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official for more insights on living a mindful and resilient life. Let's build a community focused on growth, peace, and wisdom. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.